They warned them never to disturb the dead, but in the village of Dralin, curiosity burned too brightly, and tonight the graves will remember every hand that dared touch them. Dralin was a village hidden deep within a forest, whose trees twisted skyward like blackened sentinels. The forest seemed alive, its branches groaning and bending, whispering secrets that no mortal was meant to hear. No map marked Dralin, and travelers who stumbled upon it returned changed, pale-faced, whispering of unseen things. Its houses leaned at impossible angles, roofs sagging like tired bones, timbers groaning under centuries of storms. Smoke curled lazily from crooked chimneys, mixing with the earthy scent of rain-soaked soil and faint iron from the nearby abandoned mines. The villagers spoke of the cemetery beyond the eastern woods in hushed tones, warning outsiders never to enter. But curiosity, as always, burned brighter than fear. Children were taught to avoid the forest. Elders whispered of misfortune, of those who vanished without a trace. Old Marta, the village healer, hobbled through the streets, cane tapping a slow, deliberate rhythm against the cobblestones. Her eyes, clouded with age yet sharp with foresight, seemed to see into the soil itself. "The soil remembers," she murmured. "Every hand that dares disturb the dead is remembered, and it never forgives." Jacob, a boy of reckless daring, ignored her warnings. His eyes gleamed with excitement as he whispered to his friends, "Bones are bones, nothing more. Curiosity is the only way to live. You'll see nothing happens, until it does." His friends, a mix of hesitant and eager, followed him down the overgrown path toward the cemetery. Torches flickered, casting wavering shadows over the cracked stones, each one twisted and leaning, as if bowing under some invisible weight. The path to the graveyard was narrow and choked with thorny underbrush. Every step felt heavy, the air thick with humidity and a metallic tang that made Jacob's stomach churn. Birds were silent, frozen in the trees, as if watching. The wind seemed hesitant, rustling leaves cautiously, almost warning them to turn back. Jacob paused at the cemetery's edge, staring at the cracked tombstones and half-buried crypts. Something deep in his chest twisted, a warning, but he chose to ignore it. Night fell like a heavy, suffocating curtain. Jacob returned with his friends, the torches casting pale light across the stones. Fog rolled low across the graves, winding like serpents around the crumbling headstones. The wind carried whispers, faint at first, then forming words that sent shivers down their spines. Curiosity always carries a price. Jacob's eyes fell upon one grave, unmarked and half hidden under gnarled roots. The soil seemed soft beneath his fingers, pulsing faintly, almost alive. He pried open the coffin with trembling hands. A foul breath of air escaped, thick with decay and something older, far angrier. Inside lay a body, unnaturally preserved, eyes wide and accusing. Lena, Jacob's closest friend, shivered, whispering, "Jacob, we shouldn't." But Jacob's fascination drowned her fear. His fingers brushed the cold skull, and the shadows around them stretched unnaturally, twisting and writhing like living things. A subtle vibration ran through the ground beneath them, almost like a heartbeat, and the whispers swelled into a chorus of voices. "You should not have come. Every act has a debt, every hand remembered." Trees bent slightly toward them as though watching. The wind whistled between branches, carrying faint echoes of screaming. Jacob's heart pounded, yet he could not stop touching the coffin. Curiosity had him in its grip. By morning, Dralin began to change. Subtle signs first: chickens huddling in corners, water thick and black in the wells, the air heavy with a metallic tang. Cattle were found dead in the fields, eyes frozen wide in terror, muscles stiffened unnaturally. Children awoke screaming, pointing at shadows that moved across their rooms, only to vanish when approached. Jacob's home was the first touched by the curse. Mirrors cracked spontaneously, doors slammed, and shadows twisted along walls, moving in impossible ways. Marta came to Jakob, voice trembling but firm. "The dead do not forgive," she said. "Every act has a price. You disturbed their rest. Now you bear the debt." Jakob laughed nervously, but it sounded hollow, even to him. That night, he lay awake, hearing whispers seeping from the walls of his home, the floorboards groaning as though under unseen weight. The village's unease grew. Shadows shifted independently, dancing along walls, stretching unnaturally. Villagers spoke of pale, faceless figures appearing among the trees at dusk, standing motionless, always watching. Crops withered overnight, wells ran dry or filled with black, foul-smelling water. Even the animals seemed aware. Dogs cowered, cats hissed at empty air, birds refused to sing. Jakob's friends began disappearing. One vanished into the forest, his scream carried by the wind, before fading into nothing. Another returned, eyes wide and vacant, muttering incoherently before collapsing. Jakob's guilt gnawed at him. Each time he closed his eyes, he saw the body in the coffin, its accusing gaze following him, even in sunlight. Desperate, Jakob returned to the cemetery alone. Rain slicked the earth underfoot, and lightning illuminated the twisted graves like frozen specters. He dug frantically at the coffin, praying he could undo what he had done, but the ground resisted violently, as if alive. Skeletal hands burst from the soil, clawing at his ankles, dragging him toward darkness so complete it swallowed all light. Marta's voice rang through the storm. "There is no undoing what is done. The dead take what is theirs." Jacob screamed, realizing too late that his curiosity had doomed not only him, but the entire village. He barely escaped, crawling to the village square where the remaining villagers huddled in terror. The ground trembled beneath them, as from the cemetery emerged figures not fully alive, not entirely dead, faces twisted with eternal accusation, eyes glowing like molten coals. Jakob's horror deepened as he understood that every act of curiosity, every hand that touched the soil, had fed this rising wrath. Broken and terrified, he whispered, We should have left them alone." Marta's eyes glimmered with sorrow. Curiosity without respect always has a price. Night after night, the dead haunted Dralen. Whispers echoed through empty streets. Shadows moved where none should be. Every soil-cracked grave seemed to breathe with memory and vengeance. Travelers avoided the village, and those who dared enter were never seen again. Jakob wandered through silent streets, haunted by the knowledge that even after fleeing the cemetery, the curse followed him, reaching into every corner of the village like a living thing. Even today, Dralen stands, cloaked in fear. The cemetery waits silently, swollen with rainwater and shadow, and the wind carries faint whispers warning any who will listen. Every act of curiosity has a cost, and the earth never forgets. Beneath the soil, the dead wait patiently for the next hand that dares disturb them, the next act of forbidden curiosity. In Dralen, the living pay for the sins of curiosity, and the dead never forget.